Okay, quick video here. Just wanted to give some rough thoughts on my content. So in a recent video, I talked about the content gold rush that's going on. For those who missed it / don't care, the gist of it was some really well-performing content on YouTube / social media these days is complaining about life, being a doomer, and reacting to doomer-type content. So if you want to gather a large social media following these days, the play seems to be make doomer content or react to it. So that relates to the title of this video. My channel likely won't perform well in this environment. Why? Because I don't really do doomer content, nor do I really react to a lot of this stuff, so I'm missing out on the content gold rush. To be honest, if that type of content continues to do well, I may start reacting, but it'd be hard for me to talk about doomerism related to my life, since things are going fine. Obviously, there's ebbs and flows. Example, I'm typing this script on a Saturday night, and earlier today I ran the department at my wagey job. Holy smokes, it was an awful shift. So hectic. So I could make some video along the lines of, I hate my job. I don't. And I could talk about how awful the shift was, such as how I walked into a huge bunch of cold stock left out at room temperature on my department's trolley. Meaning I need to spend 5 to 10 minutes of my shift writing off stock and taking out that extra rubbish. Or how about the fact that there was no room in either of my department's fridges for the new load coming in a few hours. So I had to frantically rush to make room in both fridges. Or how about when I was 20 minutes into my shift, someone from another department came to me and said, "Hey, this customer here has an order for 25 packets of sausages. Where are they?" And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No one told me this. I was at my office gig all week. I woke up at 5:55 a.m. on a Saturday to get to this job, to run this department. I'm left with a huge mess, and now this customer's huge-ass order is on my shoulders? Someone else during the week should have ensured that this was ready to go. Or, when I had other shit to do, but another department manager told me to go pack up some other mess that was left by someone else from the night before, by the way. That wasn't even all of the events of this day, but the point is, I could have easily made an entire video on my shit day at work. Doomer content would have done well. But I don't see today from a doomer lens. I was happy to get whatever money I made from running the department, my stable paycheck, my stable job. But a lot of people in this economy don't want to hear that. They hate hearing others doing well. They want to loathe in their suffering. Hence why doomer content and reactions do so well in today's social media climate. I went over it in the Content Gold Rush video, but there are a number of channels who literally do this doomer and react stuff who are surging in subscriber count, well beyond other channels I've seen who don't do this. So you're in a roundabout way handicapping yourself in the current social media climate to not do this. But circling back to the video title, my content specifically, I said I don't do doomer and react. Instead, I make a wide assortment of content, but it mostly relates to the stats in the game of life, specifically a career, money, aesthetics, investments, and brand. So with the career, you see a lot of people struggling to find work after they've graduated, specifically doing jobs using the degree they got at university / college. And even if they picked a useful degree, they're struggling to find a job. But if they picked a useless degree, they're in even more trouble, as I've mentioned before. As for those who are still in the midst of their studies, it's obviously a huge grind / struggle getting through all that. Sometimes you want to hear others talking about their study situation and their struggles, which I can't currently relate to. Me, for example, I recently completed my 6th CPA exam. I've already passed 5 exams, I just need 1 more. And I think I got it. I don't find out until late November, but I'm feeling good about my chances. Additionally, my full-time career job is going well. In a worst-case scenario where I'm made redundant from that role, my resume is stacked, and I've kept an eye on the job market relating to my career. Although the jobs have definitely dried up a bit from 2.5 years ago, even 1 year ago, there's still a number of them around. But again, that's an unlikely scenario since my current job is pretty secure. So a stable job or jobs with a stacked resume and finishing an advanced educational qualification that actually provides prospects in the labor market, that's not exactly relatable to a lot of people. So naturally, whenever I mention it, not a lot of people will be able to relate to it. However, if you had a useless degree / no skill set and were struggling to find a job, and you made content about it, then you'd generate more views from said content. As for the money stat, my total compensation from both jobs is around $126,000. It's honestly probably higher given the extra hours / earlier Sunday shifts / public holidays I've done this year. But point is, it's pretty stable, reliable, and it's plenty enough for me to survive in this economic climate. This is obviously not very relatable to a lot of people in this economy, so whenever I mention this, it's less relatable to most people in this economy. And also the tall poppy syndrome. That's basically when others are hating on others who are doing better than they are. So people will hear the income amount and get turned off. You could use it as motivation / inspiration, but usually those who are not in the best headspace at the moment don't see it this way. Instead, I've seen videos pop up on my YouTube feed where some guy in his car will mention how he has like $20 in total in his bank account, and a lot of comments are like, "Bro, same, I've barely got anything." And videos like that have a lot of views. If I say I have $160,000 in my bank account, which I do, who can relate to this? Maybe some, but a lot less people can relate to this. Thus, the content is less relatable to others. For aesthetics, this is usually not part of the current content gold rush, since the current content gold rush is about money / jobs, not so much your physique. There are others who have good physiques, and usually there's not as much tall poppy syndrome related to this. There's obviously some though. Whenever I see a ripped dude, I'm like, wow, that's inspiring. I need to lock back in on the aesthetic stats some more. So this isn't really super relevant to the point of this video, but I thought I'd mention it since it's one of my key 5 stats. Investments, well, similar boat here. Not so much for the stonks, but more so real estate. I'm basically waiting on some crap to be sorted before my real estate investment can fully get underway. However, once again, how many people can relate to this? Not many. Most people are struggling to pay their rent, let alone having enough to save up for a down payment on their own place. So whenever I mention this fact, there isn't a lot of people that can relate to this. Meanwhile, if you make a video on how you're struggling with rental payments, you see a flood of comments relating to this. So that content would perform better in the current economic climate. The last stat is the brand stat, but much like the aesthetic stat, this isn't really the main thing relating to the current content gold rush. No one is really complaining about not having a huge subscriber count on YouTube, but again, thought I'd mention it since it's one of the key 5 stats. So that's it, just some very quick rough thoughts on my content. As a YouTuber, ideally you morph your content to suit what gets the most clicks. However, this would go against my overall brand. Like, what am I going to start doing? Pretending I basically don't have my CPA? Pretending I don't make good money for my area and age? Pretending I don't have a house basically on standby, pending some legal processes? So if I really wanted to absolutely maximize the brand stat, I could start doomering and making more pessimistic content. But I can't really do that, since this channel shares my knowledge and my journey in the game of life. And my game is going pretty well. But as I said in this video, that isn't really the play these days. You need to be making the doomer stuff. I have a video that will come out later along the lines of, I'm 28 and I still live at home. I could easily flip this into a totally negative video. However, most of that video is going over positive stuff. So even then, I've somewhat doomer baited, but as soon as I start mentioning positive stuff about my situation, watch the viewer retention drop. So again, just some quick thoughts. I won't be changing my style of content, nor am I looking for validation from my audience or anything like that, or for you guys to share my content with your friends and whatnot. I'm just sharing some thoughts I've had for a while. Do you guys think I'm correct in this thought? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. That is all.